Live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Everyone, this is Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Dibler. Thank you very much for joining us today. We appreciate it. It is Friday here, and thanks for being a part of the show. We live stream here every weekday, starting around 1 p.m. Pacific and going throughout the afternoon, covering a wide range of topics. And as you can see right here, it's a wide range. If you watched earlier, we were talking about Mount St. Helens. I definitely recommend going to kptv.com or the Fox 12 Oregon app and taking a look at that, because that is where we were talking about the recent activity on Mount St. Helens. So if you're watching live, definitely important to check that out. And also, now we're switching gears to talk to Dee Snider. If you know who Dee Snider is, then you know who Twisted Sister is. Dee Snider, if you don't, I would say just Google it. You'll figure it out really quick. But Dee Snider is going to be featured in a new biography, a new show that's coming out that's going to showcase his life coming up through rock and roll, actually going to Congress to battle against censorship, a lot of different things that he did to become a rock star, and that's what the whole series is about. They cover other rock stars like Alice Cooper, Sebastian Bach, Bret Michaels. This one, though, is Dee Snider, so I got the chance to talk to him for just a few minutes about this upcoming biography, how that came about, and then also his thoughts on rock and roll now. It's a lot of rock talk, I'm not gonna lie, but it's pretty interesting, so here we go. It's Dee Snider on Fox 12 Now. Hey, Dee, man, thank you so much for joining us. You know, just to start off, I'm a musician, I'm a rock fan, I'm a Twisted Sister fan, I'm a Dee Snider fan. So I'm just going to lay that out there at the beginning. But what I want to know is, when it comes to creating a biography like this, you know, there's a lot of books out there. You've written books. There's the story of Dee out there. But when you're creating a biography show, what is the process like? Are there things that you leave out, things that you put in that maybe weren't there before? How does that work?
Yeah, you're going to see an hour, special. I think we were filming for 2 days. I mean, they came to my house. It's interesting. You see me, I'm in a garage because I was like, boy, that's a terrible background. But they were looking for me to go through memorabilia and old costumes. So it went out, and they said, and let's start like day one, you're born. I'm like, okay. So, we went through it all, and God bless editors, because they've got to, sort through the stuff and make up an hour show out of it. So it was really a long, long conversation with the director and producers of the show.
I mean, and when you're talking to somebody like this, over the course of a couple of days, are there things that you hold back? Or are you pretty much an open book?
I've always been an open book. I'm too honest to a fault, I mean, I remember, I used to always talk very openly about that I didn't drink and I didn't do drugs, and I was married, I had a kid. And, to me, that had nothing to do with whether I could rock or not. And yet at a certain point in my career, that became a liability. And people looked at me like, oh, he's not a real rocker, because he's not. He's not a lifestyler. He's not killing people with his car. But then continuing on through my life, that's become part of who I am. He's that frank talking, straight talking, honest talking guy who can't keep his mouth shut. So I,
Right.
and I think it's important that we share our flaws as well as our victories. People need to know, especially in my case, where my career just bottomed out. I double bankruptcy, lost everything, bicycling to a desk job by the early 90s, just terrible career. Everything just went south. And people need to hear that, even celebrities fall down, but the secret is you got to pick yourself up and push forward,
Which you've obviously done. Looking at this is chronicling your rise through rock, your rise to fame, all of that. If you were to grow up now in the modern age, social media, all of that, do you think the Dee Snider story would be the same?
That's a really good question, and it's such a brain twister that I haven't even bothered to think about it, because it's a whole different world out there. And one of my sons is in it, struggling to make it in rock and roll business, and I can't even give him tips and advice, because the path I took was very different than the path he took. He's taking, I should say. So, I wouldn't even know where to start, but I do know one thing: I'd figure it out, because I was going to be, at my 9 years old, I knew I was going to be a rock star, and that was it. There was no stopping me, and no matter how people tried to discourage me, I just kept, no, this is what I'm going to do. So figure it out. That's all I say to young people out there: figure it out, man.
Right. Well, there it is right there. Well, looking at young people and rock music right now, I just have one more rock question for you. Do you think the idea of a rock star, like you, like your peers, the other people being chronicled, the countless number there from back in the day, does that still exist today? Is there still a rock star?
Well, then that's you. I think you know the answer, and I'm going to confirm it for you. No, it doesn't, and there's a reason for it. Coming up when we did, and you talk about Alice Cooper and Bret Michaels and Sebastian Bach, Sammy Hagar, we came up at a time where in order to promote bands, you had to use mass marketing. You billboards and the sides of buses and TV commercials and MTV, and you had to be ubiquitous. You were everywhere. So people who weren't even fans of your music came to know be aware of you. Now everything is so target marketed that it's like only the people who are into that type of music or into that type of thing even find out about it on Facebook or on social media. Otherwise, there's no broad marketing campaign like there used to be. That broad marketing campaign created rock stars, made you larger than life. The target marketing, it does not play to that very well.
Well, Dee, for this biography this weekend, obviously everybody's going to be able to check this out. What is the biggest thing that you want people to take away from learning more about Dee Snider?
You know the songs, you know the videos, I went to Washington, you see me on reality TV. Most people don't know that I am a front man first, and it is really what I did best. And a front man is not a singer. Singing and being a front man are two different things. Great singer doesn't make you a great front man. Great front man doesn't make you a great singer either. But a front man's that guy, the connection to the audience. He's the guy whose job is to bring the audience into the band and connect the band with the audience. And in this show, you'll see sometimes it requires going to insane lengths like threatening to fight 35,000 people, which I did at a festival. And the audience that was throwing things incessantly at the band, they hated Twisted Sister. They could see in my eyes, this crazy New York guy, he's serious. And that won them over, actually. They said, hey, we can do crazy. So I hope everybody tunes in this Sunday, A&E, Dee Snider biography. Going to find out just who I am.
Dee, thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate it. Congratulations on this and everything else that you do. Thanks, man. I'm a big fan.
Take care, man. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, there we go. Dee Snider right here on Fox 12 Now. It's a wide range of topics that we cover here on this show. So thanks for joining us. Coming up here, we do have more for you at 2 p.m. Pacific. We have the Fox 12 Weather Podcast video edition. So that's coming up shortly. You'll definitely want to tune into that and check out what they're talking about. Obviously, it's probably going to be about the really warm weather that's going on here, but I'm going to guess we're going to tell you what's going to be happening after that as well. So that's a little bit of a tease there. Coming up again at 2 p.m. So thanks for joining us. And if you ever have any topics or things that you think would make for a good segment here for Fox 12 Now, whether that's a deeper dive in a story that you see on our other newscasts, whether you want us to get a reporter on to talk about something, whether you want to find out more information about really anything, you can send us an email, fox12now@kptv.com, fox12now@kptv.com, and we'll see if we can do something with that. I can't guarantee everything will be a segment or that I'll be able to help on all of it, but you know what? There's a good chance, and we won't know unless you send us an email. So fox12now@kptv.com. But we'll sign off for right now. We'll regroup, come back at 2 p.m. right here on whatever platform you're watching. That's a good place to be. So whether that's the website, the app, or of course on social media, whether you're watching on YouTube or you follow the link from Facebook, all great places and good places to watch these segments afterward as well.